provided so many exciting moments over the years. Maybe it would be great for the Camping World Truck Series or the Nationwide Series. What do you guys think?
Leave it like it is. I think right now we've got a great battle going on, and the way it's working, I think re-racking a lot of stuff. I like the fact that we are trying to stick maybe with a little bit traditional more with these other two series, like it was in the very beginning. When you start the season, what you do, you run an entire season. And the way it ends, who's ever at the top at the end, they're the champion.
I'm with Jeff. I like that they gave this series the point system change, just like they did Spring Cup. And I love the fact that we will crown truly a Nationwide Series champion. We still got the Sprint Cup guys. We have 10 of them today. But you know what? They're racing for money and for a trophy. These guys are racing for points.
And here's a guy who's racing for his spot in NASCAR's history here, the Nationwide Series, Ryan Truex. We heard from him just a moment ago. Looks and sounds a lot like Brother Martin and also drives a lot like him as well. One of the stars of the future of NASCAR.
Yeah, Martin has worked very close with his brother Ryan, try to give him whatever assistance he can, including a place to sleep at night. But
that's a brother for you.
The key thing is right now for this young man is to put down a solid qualifying lap, which with first lap, good enough for fourth. And Larry, we don't want to kind of like sell him short. He's still got a chance to run these guys down, Blake Cook and Timmy Hill, as far as the Rookie of the Year thing's concerned. I mean, I think he's got a great opportunity driving for Joe Gibbs to score enough points in his remaining races to contend for that championship.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago because it's your best 16 finishes that dictates your points. And when you have finishes like he had at Richmond, finishing fourth, and he jumps to third quickest with that second lap, don't rule this young man out for the Rookie of the Year.
Not too shabby at all, but let's now go down to Bob Dillner, who's standing by with our championship leader. I'm sorry, Randy Pemberton is with our championship leader.
Yeah, he had a pretty good lap there. I don't know if he's all that happy with it, but I think you're bounced back to about fifth now. But that was a good run.
That was all right. Our Black Angus beef and Cargill Mustang, a little tight there. Just couldn't get to the throttle up off and keep turning. So hopefully we'll make a few more good adjustments, and we should be good for the race today.
This track can be a little tricky. You can get involved in some stuff that's not of your making. Any concern for you coming into this race with 6 to go?
You're always concerned about that. Obviously, here at Dover is one of those places that the track gets blocked up pretty good. But I think if we can stay up around the top 5, I think we'll be okay today.
Have a good day today.
Randy, thank you. 5 poles in 2001 for Carl Edwards. That leads all drivers. He got those at the Auto Club Speedway, Texas, Richmond, Dover, and Atlanta. And trying to add another one here, but doesn't look like this one's going to happen this time around for Cousin Carl.
Hey, did you hear that? Whew. I think that was the other side. That was close. 23.417 to 23.418. 1/1000th of a second.
But Cousin Carl did go to victory lane the last time that we were here. Our reigning champion, Brad Keselowski, is out on the track. We do need to make note, with the run that Trevor Bayne made and the run that Ryan Truex made, we know the 2 drivers that will not make the show, Mark Davis and Tony Raines, will not race later on this afternoon.
So those guys are out, but right now the big Keselowski is trying to see where he is going to be because he is in.
He is definitely in, and he and his crew chief Todd Gordon are just getting stronger and stronger as the season goes on. A little bobble right there by the 22, and everybody again wasn't so much about how fast this car was for qualifying, but a lot of guys said on the tracker, the lap tracker that everybody kind of lives and dies by, say this car is easily a half a second or half a tenth faster, on a long run over the rest of the field. So he's going to be the guy you're going to have to beat, I think, when they drop the green flag come later on this afternoon.
And they got a guy behind the wheel who can definitely get it done. He only led 2 laps back in the first race of 2009, but went on to win this race. Doesn't matter how many you lead, as long as you lead that last one.
Yeah, exactly right. And again, they've been doing a really good job as of late closing things out. And talked to some folks over there at Turner Motorsports about this 38 car and Casey Kane, and they say they think they can make some noise today and give maybe Mr. Keselowski a run for his money.
He's got a little bit of work to do because that first lap only 23.72, 14th quickest, but you can see the tracker there. He's working on trying to get close to the top 5. Maybe won't quite get there, but I think this will definitely be better than lap 1.
Yeah, he's going to rally back with a really nice pickup. This is 0.1400ths of a second, but it moves him all the way up to the 6th position. And Larry, we haven't really touched on a lot, but 200 laps here. JR made the comment, just really quick lap times around here. It won't take long at all to run 200 miles here if everybody kind of plays nice. So starting up front is going to be a big plus.
And we did talk about this track not having any rubber. Jeff and I learned this morning in the garage area that NASCAR will have a competition caution at lap 40 for these boys.
Right.
Fastest guy in practice, Clint Boyer, is the last guy to qualify out of the 45-car field. And he is already starting to work his way up. Currently, sixth. I say fourth, and it drops down to sixth.
Well, he's fourth quickest on that first lap, JR. This is the money lap now. Can he pick back? Can he rally back a little bit and get this 33 car closer to the front?
There he goes back again.
It's not going to get him up on the pole. In fact, I think he may slow down a little bit on this second lap. He'll slow down about 2/100ths of a second. But right now, fourth quickest for Clint Boyer, the guy that had a big wreck on that last lap here in May.
We mean big. that doesn't really describe that wreck he had. We asked him last night on Trackside about it, and it's like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about?
With Clint Boyer qualifying fourth, that means Elliott Sadler has the pole position. It's his 10th in 159 starts, fourth pole of 2011. And the guy who gave him a run for his money is standing by with Randy.
Yeah, that's Carl Edwards. Gave him a run for it. Came up a little bit short. Where'd you miss it?
Are you kidding me? They said it was 1,000. I'd like to have that one to run over again. I just got to thank FMT, Bodyguards, Safety Gear, and all the folks at Fastenal for being on board this week. This is a fun race for us. And Mike Beam and I have been working together for a year. I wish I could have got on the pole here. The car was fast enough. It just, I think running that Cup car and then getting in the Nationwide car, it's so much different that kind of threw me off. At least that's my excuse for the 1,000th there. Elliott got me, though. He did a good job. It's going to be a fun race.
All right, you've got 6 wins this year. You come to Dover. You won here in the spring. Give me a sense of rate this track on the backflip, because when you talk about that front stretch, you got a pretty big banking there. Do you have to go all the way down when you win the race to do the backflip? I know it's got to be difficult here.
So many things you have to worry about when you come to a race. I hope that's one of my concerns. I hope that's the biggest problem I've got today. But there are a lot of fast cars. It's a very tough racetrack. That finish that we had here in the spring was crazy. Joey and I racing so hard. And, that's what this place does. It forces you to race as hard as you can. And, hopefully we can come out of here with a win. But it's going to take great pit stops, great strategy. And this Fastenal Mustang is good, though.
Have fun out there today.
All right, thank you. 1,000.
1/1000th of a second. It just doesn't get much closer than that for Carl Edwards and company. But Elliott Sadler has the pole position, and if you're in a championship battle and you're at a racetrack like Dover, you just can't start any better than that. Although he's got to watch Elliott Sadler, the guy who's really got to watch is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who will start 6th, Jeff.
And that's where he gained a little bit the week before. Whenever he did pick up, he out-qualified Ricky. And I think that anytime you can get an advantage over a team, you're trying to run them down. This is how you start doing it. You do it by having a better practice session. You have a better qualifying session. That kind of sets the tone and forces those guys to have to step up. So this is the kind of mind game that you start to play this late in the championship battle.
Well, we got to take a quick break. Elliott Sadler has the pole. There is the pole-winning run for the number 2 car. We'll be back in just a moment with much more for the Monster Mile at Dover.
What do you think?
Oh, we shouldn't load up the credit card. What if you pull out of the tree again?
At Rent-A-Center, you don't need a credit card.
You can get an Ashley 7-piece living room group, your choice, just $24.99 a week, worry-free.
I didn't fall. He did.
Timber!
Just outside of Memphis, a barbecue joint. Not the best known, just the best. The Germantown Commissary. The walls are cluttered with famous folks who've shared the secret. Where to find the best damn ribs south of the Mason-Dixon. Another secret we're sharing? Evan Williams Bourbon. This is the smooth stuff, the good stuff. Evan Williams, smooth bourbon. Priced right. Spread the word.
Imagine a sport where ingenuity meets performance. Born in industry and perfected in competition. Royal Purple enhances performance and offers superior protection for anything wrapped in steel. Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Real steel. Rated PG-13 in theaters October 7th.
Through turn 1, it's still Petty.
Petty wins the Southeastern 500.
This is how a young man was crowned a king. And a kid from Dawsonville finally lived up to his nickname. This is when we discovered just how high smoke can rise. It's where family traditions get started, and other traditions get taken in a whole new direction.
Taking a backward
This is where names are engraved, not just in metal, but in history.
Tonight, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series stampedes into Kentucky, where a new chapter in the series' history is about to be written, as this truck's legend finds himself in unfamiliar territory, fighting for a ride, while the next generation of superstars battle for the championship. Gonna go around and into the wall he goes! Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Kentucky, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying from Dover is brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. Let us now take a look at who will start where for this 200-miler this afternoon. As we mentioned, it can go by in a hurry. If everybody minds their P's and Q's and is clean on this race, it will go by fast, and therefore starting position will be absolutely crucial. And that looks great, Mr. Hammond, for Elliott Sadler, who's only 14 points behind Ricky Stenhouse for the championship.
And Larry McReynolds talked about bonus points. This is how you can get one of those bonus points. Lead that first lap, get yourself a bonus point. That's how you kind of keep scratching your way back toward the top.
But Larry, look who he's going to have to beat to do it. Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Clint Boyer are all up there, all looking to lead laps as well.
Well, Carl Edwards has multiple wins here. Clint Boyer has a couple of wins, but look there on row 3. That's the man that Elliott Sadler's chasing, Ricky Stenhouse. And maybe is it a day where someone like Ryan Truex can get his first career win?
And the big Keselowski has won here before. Trevor Bayne in the 16 will start 9th. And how about Kenny Wallace? Another great qualifying effort for him in the 09 P10.
This keeps showing each and every week why this 09 combination has really worked well as far as Kenny Wallace is concerned. Race car driver Kenny Wallace.
And we're beside him, even though he's a Daytona 500 winner, Trevor Bayne still looking for his first Nationwide Series win.
Jamie McMurray is one of the rotating drivers by committee behind the wheel of the number 7 this weekend. He can certainly get the job done there. Jason Leffler, another RWI car, Michael Annett in the 18th position on row number 9.
I think a lot of people right now on row 10, Reed Sorensen, were waiting to see whether or not they can get their problems fixed and get him back on track. He did finish 3rd here in the spring race.
On back in the field we go, one of the veteran drivers of the series and also a guy who has always finished on the lead lap every time he's run in the Nationwide Series here. That's the 23 of Scott Riggs. Kelly Byers right by him, Eric McClure and Scott Wimmer, Jeff Green and Tim Andrews, Thane Skinner and TJ Bell round out your first 16 rows of starters for this afternoon's One Main Financial 200 here at the Monster Mile. Matt Carter, son of Travis, Carl Long, another one of the veterans, and Johnny Chapman in the 41.
Casey Roderick actually making his first start on an oval in the Nationwide Series.
Josh Wise, kind of like a young man trying to make a name for himself in this series right there, starting back here on row 20.
One of the many greens in there as well. The Daytona 500 winner from 1990, Derek Koch, Timmy Hill, and Chase Miller makes it in the 46 car. He will be the last guy to start. Let's now go to Randy Pemberton, who's standing by with Clint Boyer. Randy?
Well, Clint Boyer comes out of qualifying, top 5, not bad. Give me your thoughts on your lap out there, what that means as we go into the race here today.
Yeah, it was just a little bit free. I think that's good going into the race. I'd rather be a little bit free here than tight for sure. You know, the way I drive this place, I trail a lot of throttle through the center of the corner, and you got to be able to kind of lift right there 3/4 way around, let the car rotate. And if it's tight, it usually won't rotate right there. So, you know, like I said, I think it's a little bit free, neutral to the free side, and I think that's good for the race. I think it's going to be a good race. Looking at the speeds, you know, I think, you know, it seems like the last couple of times we've been here, it's been kind of a 2 or 3 dog fight, and man, I'm telling you, I think there's at least 6 cars that they're capable of getting a job done here. So, going to be a fun race. Battle it all day long. Hopefully we'll come out on top.
Hey, give me a sense of what the different styles is and what it takes to drive the Nationwide car here compared to the Cup car.
Yeah, you know, and going back to that throttling a little bit, I think you can get away with a little bit more in this Nationwide car than you can that Cup car. You know, momentum is so much. Those cars go off in the corner, you know, with a couple hundred more horsepower. So obviously you're rolling off in the corner a lot faster, trying to get that inertia slowed down. You know, and it kind of tends to force you to diamond the corner a little bit and then get to the gas hard, because that big beast under the hood wants to be, you know, if you can get it wide open, she'll take you in the right direction in a hurry. So, you know, I think that's the biggest difference between driving styles here between the 2 cars.
All right, Cup qualifying coming up. Good luck there.
Thanks, man.
All right, Clint Boyer.
Randy, thanks a lot. There's your front row. Elliott Sadler with the pole. Carl Edwards starting P2. When we come back to NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying, we'll talk to pole sitter Elliott Sadler.
Oh, Rudy, you're so nice to me.
Well, no more. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh, and you're funny, too. That's cute.
Mike, there's nothing funny about it. I'm the new Aaron spokesperson now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Did you empty my bedpan?
Hey.
I'm the man.
Yeah, Mr. Butler's here. Come on.
Okay.
You stand right here behind me, the official Aaron spokesperson, handpicked by Mr. Ken Butler.
What a suck-up.
Action.
Remember, when you want a guaranteed low price on brand name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers,
you don't need credit. All you need is Aaron's.
Hey, ladies. Why don't you educate me on why you're not watching the Packers?
I got cable. We don't get the Packers in Miami.
Oh, boo-hoo. Ow! It's on! Only DirecTV lets you watch your favorite team every Sunday, no matter where you live. Looks like we're done here.
Oh, man. This is dry clean only.
Don't miss your last chance to get NFL Sunday ticket included at no extra charge.
In 3 days,
We talking or we racing?
the Fast 5 Combo Pack gives you 3 ways to watch anytime, anywhere with Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy.
This is big boy stuff!
On the Fast 5 Combo Pack this Tuesday.
What am I hoping for? Cool, great girl, get along with, lets me be me. I enjoy her being her, lives close.
So you really want a relationship?
Yes. I mean, I didn't sign up to eHarmony for dates.
Review all your matches for free at eharmony.com.
Because of these changes, the battle for the 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series trophy is going to be one for the history books. Let's continue by taking a look at some of the new cars that you'll see on track this year. Collect all 4.
Are there going to be any drivers on this tour?
Ta-da!
Can they breathe in there?
The 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. Something new around every turn.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Next Saturday, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars to see which one will become the newest hero that leads them into the Fall Classic. Legends are born in October, and Fox Sports exclusive coverage of the ALCS begins next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Welcome back, everyone, to the Monster Mile. Elliott Sadler has claimed the pole for the 4th time of 2011. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Elliott Sadler very excited down here in the pits of the Monster, and you conquered the Monster. So want to know the secret. How'd you do it?
Good race car. My guys did a good job. We brought ourselves a brand new car with a brand new body and stuff on it up here, and car's been driving good all weekend. And it's a big race for us. One Main Financial is the sponsor of the race. We got about 4,000 people here, so we put the pressure on ourselves to come here and do good. And to be able to qualify on the pole, you get that first pit stall, which is huge here for the race on this narrow pit wall. So great job by my race team this weekend.
You mentioned that brand new race car. You finished 6th here in the springtime. What do you need to do different during the race to improve upon that?
Not speed on pit road. I got a pit road speed penalty here last time. I had to go to the rear and come back through, and we finished 6th. So the car is actually a little bit better than what we had here in the spring, and I need to do a better job on pit road. But we have 6 races left. My team is very prepared for what's ahead of us and what's in front of us, and we know what we're chasing and what we have to do. And this is a great first step towards that goal.
You mentioned 6 races left, the championship battle. You and Ricky Stenhouse, Reed Sorensen there as well. Who's got the advantage here?
Well, Ricky got the advantage as far as, he's leading the points, and I think he finished 4th here the first race, so those guys definitely had a good team. We got to play catch up a little bit, but, we're ready for it. I'm looking forward to the challenge. We're going to have fun with it. We got ourselves a good race team, and we're going to go after them every week.
And, of course, Elliott Sadler wants to get into victory lane here today.
And, Bob, that would be a great step towards them getting that championship. And, of course, that's exactly why Elliott Sadler teamed up with Kevin Harvick Incorporated to go down there and run for the championship. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's one of the true good guys of racing, one of our partners here on Speed, of course. But, when it comes to him going down there and doing what he's been doing right now, that's a great turnaround story.
It really is. But I think the key thing right now, JR, when you think about what's got to happen here as far as that 2 car is concerned, his experience with the remaining races, he understands I've just got to stay stay in front of Ricky Stenhouse just 1 or 2 positions each and every race. And if he can do that for the remaining part of the season, he'll wind up being the champion. If he can put enough pressure on this young man to make a mistake, well, it may be even easier yet.
And Larry, it was NASCAR's idea to make this thing simple, and they definitely did with positions on the racetrack. Simply put, Elliott Sadler of the next 6 races has to finish a cumulative total of 14 positions better than Ricky on the racetrack.
Well, in JR, we've got 6 races to go, and every race will be huge. We have 4-mile-and-a-half racetracks. We have the variable of Phoenix because it's a new racetrack, but I have to believe today this 1-mile racetrack, 200 laps, is huge for these guys because it's not necessarily you get in trouble by being in the middle of the pack. You go back to the race in May, guys that were running at the very front got in trouble because it's a big crash. There's just nowhere to hide.
And one other thing, the last 8 races of the 9 have been run from the front row. So starting up front like he's doing right now, Elliott Sadler has done himself a big service.
So Elliott's got the advantage right now. For some final thoughts, let's go down to Randy Pemberton.
Thanks, JR. You know, you have to wonder with all these guys double dipping here this weekend, Brad, Carl, Casey Kane, also Clint Boyer. You know, you think about they go out there for this nationwide qualifying. They run a fast lap, fast as they can go, obviously. They get right out of that car, and then they try to jump in the Cup car, and you have to wonder if they're able to hit it out there. And that's kind of what I was talking to Clint about. What's the difference? I think we're going to have to watch those guys and see if they can actually nail their qualifying lap here in Sprint Cup qualifying, which is coming up next. Kind of some habits that you have to have in the nationwide doesn't work necessarily in the Cup Series, so we'll see if those guys can hit it. Bob?
Randy over here, the number 6 car will start 6th today in the Nationwide Series race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., you guys in the booth just talked about, he leads the points right now. And he's gotten progressively better here at the Monster Mile. Last year, finishes of 18th and 11th. Earlier this year, a 4th place run. And remember that Ricky gets to pull from the Roush Fenway Brigade here at the Monster Mile. And Concrete Carl, very good here. He'll pull from him as far as knowledge today, JR.
Bob, thanks a lot. If you want to look to somebody, look to Concrete Carl. That's definitely the way to get that done. Want to say congratulations once again to Elliott Sadler and company for taking the pole position here. It's his 10th pole in his 159th start in the series, 4th pole of 2011. That puts him 2nd to Carl Edwards, who has 5 poles this season, who just happens to start on the outside of row 1. We got Sprint Cup Series qualifying at 1:30, trucks qualifying at 6, Speed Center NASCAR edition at 7. But right now, let's go to Speed Center with Adam Alexander. Take it away, AA.
Good afternoon from the Speed Center. I'm Adam Alexander. Sprint Cup qualifying next on Speed. NASCAR's top series with a pair of practice sessions yesterday at Dover. And the man who enters the weekend as your points leader would be one Tony Stewart. Dover not been great to him lately. He was 25th in the opening practice. Carl Edwards, good on concrete. He was 3rd in practice 1. And one of the guys better than him, his teammate, Matt Kenseth, who won there in May. He was 2nd on the board on to final practice late Friday afternoon. Tony Stewart trying to figure out what his problem is. 41st is where he went in final practice. Some ground to make up for the points leader, and he can't really turn to his teammate Ryan Newman because the Rocket Man struggled as well. He was 39th on the final practice sheet. Another chase driver who struggled, NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 37th in final practice. His teammate, Jimmy Johnson, great when it comes to Dover, a 6-time winner, got better and better yesterday. He was 12th. Kyle Busch, he's won at the Monster Mile on 2 different occasions. He was 11th in final practice, and only one chaser inside the top 10. That would be Jeff Gordon. The 4-time Dover winner was 2nd. His teammate, Mark Martin, was quickest.
I'm not satisfied with the car, although we did make some gains toward the end, and now we're going to go try to figure out how to get in the game. We fought bad driving most of the time, and now we've got that cured, and now we just need some speed.
We didn't make any qualifying runs that last run, so it was all race run stuff. So we made our qualifying runs early on. So feel pretty encouraged right now that the temperature changed up a little bit during the course of practice, and the sun was out earlier, and then it got a little cooler, so the track changed a little bit. But for the most part, pretty encouraged by what we got so far.
We've got plenty of speed. I'd like the balance to be a little bit better. I'd like the car to turn a little bit better. Our afterlife fusions are really good. That I didn't get a really fast lap to the second practice, but on the long run, we're very, very good.
And Carl Edwards, one victory at Dover. He enters the weekend fourth in points, 14 markers behind Tony Stewart. He was 16th in final practice yesterday. Brad Keselowski, 22nd. Kevin Harvick, second in points, too. Tony Stewart, we told you about Smoke struggles, so he is leading the championship chase in NASCAR. The man who's getting it done in MotoGP, the Australian Casey Stoner, qualifying this morning for the Grand Prix of Japan. At Motegi, there is Stoner. He has been so good. Everybody's chasing him. He collected his 4th straight pole, his 10th of the year this morning, and that's the most by any rider in a single season ever in MotoGP. American Ben Spies battled back from a stomach illness. He will start 5th tomorrow morning. And then you've got Nicky Hayden. Great in practice, not so much in qualifying. He will start in the 10th position, better than Colin Edwards, the 3rd American going off track here in qualifying. He rolls 14th. With that, we bring you the starting lineup for the Grand Prix of Japan. Stoner out front. Defending champ Jorge Lorenzo starts second. Then a couple of more Repsol Hondas inside the top 5. You want to see the Grand Prix of Japan? You can do it right here on Speed. Stay up late, get up early, whatever you choose. Our coverage begins 2 a.m. Eastern Time. On now to Bikes on Dirt. Ryan Dungey announced today that he is leaving Suzuki and joining the Red Bull KTM factory race team led by Roger DeCoster for 2012. KTM has not won a Supercross or Motocross championship. Dungey won both titles in 2010.
Good. Fired up.
Yeah, oh, yeah, what a slap. Johnny Sauter wins at Murfreesboro. James Buescher scored as your race leader. Austin Dillon grabs his 4th career win in the Camping World Truck Series.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, 6 races to go, and it all begins this weekend at Kentucky. Practice yesterday, Austin Dillon, your points leader, coming into the weekend was quickest. Other championship contenders, Johnny Sauter in the top 10, as is James Buescher. Where can you see the Camping World Truck Series? There is one place, right here on Speed. We got qualifying. It happens at 6 p.m. Eastern. Then you got Speed Center at 7, followed by the Camping World Truck Series race. 7:30 Eastern Time for the setup. Race coverage begins at 8. We'll see you back here for Speed Center at 7. Right now, we're going to take a break. On the other side, qualifying for the Sprint Cup Series from Dover, Delaware.
School art supplies, black pants, and a family mobile plan.
7 years ago, I kissed Emily Costa. Ew!
Unlimited talk and text, only $45 a month. Add more lines, only $25 each. Plus other low prices every day on everything. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Home sweet home.
Here we go again. Pedal to the metal, now we going in the wind. Everything we gotta go secure another win. Every time we turn it down, the whole world knows that's how we.
On Fast 5, October 4th.
In IndyCar racing, it's all about speed, and the action happens in the blink of an eye. So you need something that helps you keep up, like IndyCar Mobile from Verizon. It lets you keep pace with in-race audio, up to the second leaderboards, highlights, and even driver tweets. Download it now!
Get IndyCar Mobile, the app that can make you a millionaire. Enter the GoDaddy IndyCar Challenge for a chance to split the $5 million prize. Text Indy to 3406 or visit IndyCarWorldChampionships.com.
I asked for free, and they got free. Who doesn't love free? I like free.
You asked for free, we give you free. Right now, earn up to 5 free nights with the Choice Privileges Visa card. Learn how at choicehotels.com.
Through turn 1, it's still Petty wins the Southeastern 500.
This is how a young man was crowned a king. And a kid from Dawsonville finally lived up to his nickname. This is when we discovered just how high smoke can rise. It's where family traditions get started, and other traditions get taken in a whole new direction.
Taking a backwards lap.
This is where names are engraved, not just in metal, but in history.
Welcome, everyone, to Dover's Monster Mile and NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying. 44 cars for 43 positions on this monster of a racetrack today. And the third race of the chase brings us to the first state, that being Delaware. So far, the story about this chase has been all about one driver, and that is Tony Stewart. You know what? We have an absolutely beautiful afternoon for all the action going on the racetrack today. We have qualifying for the Nationwide Series and also the Sprint Cup Series qualifying, and also Nationwide Series racing coming your way in just a little bit. But it is absolutely beautiful fall-like day here as we take a look at Miles the Monster. It's 62 degrees, 67% humidity, little bit of wind in the area, and partly cloudy. I'm John Roberts alongside of Larry McReynolds and Kyle Petty. And Larry Mack, when you come to this racetrack in the past, it has been all about Jimmy Johnson, especially in these chase races. But right now, he's at a place he's not used to being in the chase, but he's at a great racetrack to race that.
Well, I know this is about qualifying, but honestly, it's about race number 3 of the chase. And we know there's a lot of drivers that need a good run here, like Kyle Busch, like Dale Earnhardt Jr., like Matt Kenseth. But this is the driver that I'm going to be watching for these next 2 days, because he comes in here, yeah, JR, 10th in the points. They've never been this low in the points, and you see right there, 29 points out, well over a half of a race. But when you think about Dover, you think about Jimmy Johnson, because the last 5 races, he's won 3 times here, should have won the other 2 times, had a pit road speeding penalty. This was a year ago where he sat on the pole, led over almost half the race, and won the race. And then he's also started on the pole here 3 of the last 5 races. So I think this is a huge measuring stick for where this 48 team truly is.
Yeah, and I know you say it's just qualifying, but qualifying dictates where you get a pit pick. And we've seen in the first couple of races pit positions be critical to these guys, because they've become fuel mileage races. You got to get in, you got to get out, you've got to do different things. So this is a tight pit road. How many times have we seen? Remember Matt Kenseth wrecking at the end of the pit road? This is, for me, point-wise, this is one of those things where the guys from 5th all the way back to 10th, as we see Matt walking from 5th to 10th, they've got to break out of that group and assert themselves this week and get back up in the points. But qualifying is critical at a place like this, because you don't want to be back there in 43rd.
And Kyle, you've won at this racetrack before as a driver. Tell us about what it's like to be out there, the sensation of speed, and also why throughout the day today we've asked so many drivers and they've said, I love racing on this racetrack.
I never won here. I don't know where you came up with that, but it was 100 years ago.
He spanked us that day.
It was 105 years ago.
I always compared this place. We talk about how fast Bristol is, and you talk about the banking at Bristol. This is a place that I just considered a mile Bristol. It was just, you drive down in the corner and then drive up out of the hole, and the car does so many different things so incredibly fast. The car never settles. That's hard for a crew chief. That's hard for a driver, and that's why you see guys run up the racetrack, down the racetrack, middle of the racetrack. But that's why when you see, and people talk about this place being a self-cleaning racetrack, what goes up must come down. And it happens so fast, if something happens in front of you, you can get in somebody else's trouble.
You're averaging over 155, 156 miles an hour around a 1-mile racetrack. And the thing about it, Kyle, about 3/4 of this racetrack, you spin in the corner.
Yeah, you do. And you spin just slammed up against the right side of that seat.
And one of the 10 drivers doing double duty this weekend is Mike Bliss. Had a solid qualifying run in the Nationwide Series. Now he's given it his go. Larry, as the first car out on the racetrack for the Cup Series, there's been a little bit of rubber put back down. We talked earlier in Nationwide qualifying about this being a green racetrack after the rains that came through. Any advantage or disadvantage throughout the series here?
With the weather that I see right now, and we definitely have a cloud cover, and I just don't think there's going to be an advantage or disadvantage of going nowhere in this session. I think for the go or go homers, which Mike Bliss is actually locked in it, it will give you a little bit of an advantage to go late, because you know what you've got to do and what you've got to run.
Mike Bliss is a past champion in the Camping World Truck Series. His best finish of 2011 is 25th, and that happened twice at Dover and Chicagoland. So not exactly a Mike Bliss type season so far, but nonetheless, he's out there still digging.
He has picked up 3/4 of a second from what he ran in that first practice yesterday, and he'll pick it up a little more on lap 2 to a 23:17.
As we see the color of this racetrack, Kyle, changing just a little bit throughout today.
Yeah, and this racetrack, concrete, we talk about concrete being a constant. It is a constant a lot of times from temperature. But this racetrack, like the corners at Martinsville, when they start to pick up rubber, the racetrack changes. If you've got a car that's really tight, you can't get down in the corner, you can't get the way. Watching the Nationwide Series before this, these guys really, the Nationwide guys really made good time through 1 and 2. But they would give it all up going in 3. So many guys were free going in 3 and chased it up the racetrack. You can get really brave in one corner, but you've got to back it off a little bit when you get to 3.
They call him Front Row Joe for a reason. He's a good qualifier. He's qualified for every race in 2011 so far. And here Joe takes his turn.
You know, I was talking to Joe in the garage area this morning, and I don't think we realized that he's been a go-or-go-homer all year long. This is the 3rd year for Joe running in his own Sprint Cup Series car. He has qualified for every race, and we're starting to see things on the quarter panel. He showed me this morning. He said, I'm finally starting to get some interest. AM, FM energy that makes pellet and wood stoves on the car this week here in Dover.
As Joe is cooking right along here, second car to take time.
You see, as you come up out of that turn 2, you saw that car wiggle just a little bit. The car, if you're free up off that corner, it's terrible. But it's almost just as bad to be a little snug up off that corner because the thing snaps loose at the last minute.
So as we mentioned earlier, only 44 cars out, so only one driver will have to go home out of the go-or-go-homers.
Kyle, you have a number of laps around this racetrack. We talked about that. I, of course, have never driven anything here. I've worked on a lot of cars, but it seemed like it was always walking a razor blade between the car being too free or being too tight. Also a fine line between underdriving and overdriving the racetrack.
There is a fine line, as you say, of underdriving and overdriving, and that affects the former thing you talk about, being too loose or too tight. If you've got a driver that'll roll out of it at the start-finish line in the race conditions, pick up the throttle early, half throttle it around the corner, and then drive it straight up off the corner, he seems to be pretty good. A la Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, guys like that. When you've got a kamikaze and a guy that's willing to drive to the center of the corner, old-style Jimmy Spencer, okay, then it's going to be hard. Or Mike Skinner, same thing. Then it's harder for a driver because you can't repeat that lap after lap because the tires just won't hold you. But the driver can really dictate a lot of times how his car drives.
Now, we'll only send one driver home. Mike's first lap was not quick enough, and where he hit the wall, that hurt the first lap and the second lap.
And the second lap.
So tough break for the principal, the slowest of 3 cars to go so far. He's got a little bit of damage on the outside of that race car.
But Joe Nemechek will make his 29th start now of 2011. He's locked in that 87 car.
Big green light by Joe Nemechek's 87. Mike Skinner, Mike Bliss, the other 2 drivers to take time so far. So take another look at what happened to the principal.
You see he's up off the bottom right here, and you see he gets outside the blackened part of the racetrack. He just drives it outside the black, and there's no grip right there right now because nobody's been up there to put down rubber, whether in qualifying or practice.
We'll be back with much more Sprint Cup qualifying in a moment.
Tonight, the truck stampede into Kentucky, where the next generation of superstars saddle up and trade some paint in the Bluegrass State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Kentucky, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
And remember, as Aaron's spokesperson, you are the face of Aaron's, the leader in sales and lease ownership. The stores where everyone is pre-approved.
Got it, Ken.
What? I thought I was Aaron's spokesperson.
Yeah, right.
Watch and learn, Rudy.
That's my girl.
Action. And remember, when you want a guaranteed low price on name brand furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers, you don't need credit. All you need is Aaron. Don't worry, Daddy. One day you'll be the Aaron spokesperson.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams from Money Mutual, your trusted source to over 60 lenders that can get you up to $1,000 in your checking account by tomorrow. These are tough times, and if you're facing an unexpected car repair bill, a medical emergency, or you just need extra cash to hold you over until payday, then you need to know about Money Mutual, an easy way to get short-term cash fast. So forget about bounced checks, overdraft charges, and late fees.
Need cash tomorrow? Call 1-800-585-CASH today.
12,000 pounds.
There's some sweet air.
11 feet tall.
Oh, no.
And 1,500 horsepower.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Giants of destruction.
Now watch this.
Beasts that fly.
He's in trouble and over he goes.
For legions of fans.
You want to get big air and make his crowd happy. Look at this. Oh, no, he did.
They are the masters of disaster.
He's dancing on the tail.
It's Monster Jam on Speed, the motorsports authority.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dover's Monster Mile. Right now on the racetrack, the number 13 of Casey Mears is taking time, the 4th car to go.
He goes to the top of the charts at a 23:15 of our 4 drivers that's qualified so far. Slows down just a little bit on lap 2.
Yeah, so far the guys, obviously Bliss's second lap was a little bit faster, but so far the guys, they get the most out of it on the first lap.
27 starts for Casey, all but the Daytona 500. He missed that race. It's kind of heartbreaking for them, but they came back to bounce back well and continue to make races.
Kind of a unique situation here this weekend. A lot of practice yesterday for these Sprint Cup Series guys, but all of these drivers have picked up anywhere from 3/4 of a second to almost a second from what they ran in that first practice yesterday.
Boy, this got to be a different beast for Andy Lally. He's so great on the road courses and also in the Grand Am Series, and this is such a different beast.
Yeah, if you came off running road courses your whole life and you showed up at Dover, you would think they put you on another planet somewhere. You would think, my God, this is the kind of racing they do in this civilization. But this is different than the places we go. It's different than Charlotte. It's different than Kentucky. It's different than those places. Great lap by Lally right there.
Nicely done. Up to the top of the speed chart right now to 5 cars that have gone. In this racetrack here, in the straightaways, it is higher banked than a lot of curves we have at other racetracks we go to.
Now, he's locked into the show, even though he's went to the top of the charts. But, boy, he was all over the racetrack off turn 4 the last time.
Yeah, and he was all over the racetrack getting into turn 3 right there. You could almost see the wheel turn to the right and him chasing up the racetrack.
Let's go to Wendy Venturini for a report from the garage area. Wendy?
Hey, Don. Thank you so much. I'm with Mike Skinner, who had a handful in qualifying. Not only do I want to ask you about qualifying, but I also, in one question, want to ask you about Angie's race car for next week.
Well, first of all, I really feel bad for the guys with the big red Toyota here. They made it better, but it wasn't good enough. And my instructions to Angie was to watch your line, because your line was what I told her to run, and you were the fastest that I saw, so I just told her, I said, follow Wendy.
Oh, that's not what I was getting at, but I'm looking forward to racing against her.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys put on a great show, and I know you will for the fans, and raise some money for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. Let's head over to Bob Dillner.
Well, Wendy, after New Hampshire, Ryan Newman dropped to 11th in points, and this week he's actually carrying what he hopes to be a little bit of a good luck charm. Check this out. On the front part of this race car, Mighty Mouse. And if you take a look on his shoulder, you see the number 7 there. Well, back in 1992, when Alan Kawicki won the championship, he put Mighty Mouse on the front of his race car. And you know what? Crew chief for Ryan Newman, Tony Gibson, was on that team. So they're trying to carry a little bit of Alan Kawicki's good luck here in their championship hopes this year.
Bob, thanks a lot. That's pretty cool to see the mouse up there, and also a little bit of tie-in between Alan Kawicki and Ryan Newman. They're both engineers with degrees.
But that particular year, Alan had a terrible race weekend here at Dover. I think he may have tore a couple of cars up, but when he left here, that's when business picked up.
Business picked up. Yeah, they had an incredibly bad week. Qualified bad, wrecked a car in practice, backup cars, everything. They were dragging Begbarry and Stillen to just stay in the race and stay in contention.
The Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney, currently 4th on the speed chart right there. The green flag now goes to J.J. Yaley.
Now, J.J. had a pretty rough day yesterday. Lap 2 of that first practice session, the car got away from him. He hit the wall. They had to unload a backup car. He did get some time in this backup car, though, in that second practice session.
And, of course, in Chicagoland, he was trying to be nice and help out his buddy Matt Kenseth, but that was a no-no in the eyes of NASCAR.
Well, that first lap, though, was good enough to get him in because he'll beat Mike Skinner, so he will race tomorrow.
So big green light by the 38. Like to see that.
You know, JJ's done a really good job of stepping into this thing and making races with it. And that's what his job is. You know, his job is to come, get in this car, and make a race with it. And it puts a team really behind when they tear up a car in the first practice. But a team like this, it can be devastating because now you go to a place and you don't make the race. But here, obviously, he'll be starting tomorrow.
But that is a team that has been really plugging along with little limited resources compared to other teams. There's Jeff Burton. We'll be back with much more qualifying from Dover in a moment.
Thursday. Get excited for the most beautiful trucks of art ever.
Oh, for the love of Peterbilt.
As Rob judges the most prestigious night of the trucking world. It's an all-new American Trucker, Thursday at 10 Eastern on Speed.
We love ordering sushi, but it was getting expensive. So to save some money...
Looks great, hon.
And we're not real proud of this.
No, we're not.
We,
Have you guys seen Captain Stewie and Little Miss Neptune?
Did you look all over the place under your desk? All around?
They're fish. They live in a bowl.
What are you going to do?
There's an easier way to save.
Whatever.
Get online. Go to geico.com. Get a quote. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hi, I'm Monta Williams from Money Mutual, your trusted source to over 60 lenders that can get you up to $1,000 in your checking account by tomorrow. These are tough times, and if you're facing an unexpected car repair bill, a medical emergency, or you just need extra cash to hold you over until payday, then you need to know about Money Mutual, an easy way to get short-term cash fast. So forget about bounced checks, overdraft charges, and late fees.
Need cash tomorrow? Call 1-800-585-CASH today.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Dover is brought to you by Staybill Fuel Stabilizer. When you store, start with Staybill. By Hunt Brothers Pizza. Visit HBPRacing.com to learn how to buy pizza and earn free racing gear. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. And this year's chase for the Sprint Cup has been one of the most competitive anywhere ever since they started this concept of crowning a champion this way. It is certainly a door-to-door battle there, but another battle going on is back with Josh Wise, as he has the rookie stripes on the back of the cars, one of 10 double-duty drivers. He'll start 40th for today's NASCAR Nationwide Series race. And now he's trying to, well, he's made his way up to the top of the speed chart right now.
First driver to run in the 22-second bracket at lap 1 was a 22.960 for Josh.
So here's a teammate to J.J. Yaley, Travis Quapple, in the number 55.
Another driver that'll have to qualify on time. In fact, out of our next 6 drivers, 5 are the go-or-go-homers. So when those drivers finish their qualifying, we'll know what driver will not make the show right now. Mike Skinner in the 60 car on the bubble.
I'm going to tell you, Travis got through 1 and 2 really good. He went in and let that car drift up the racetrack. He didn't try to hold it down, but picked back up the throttle really quick.
Bob Dillner is standing by with a former winner at this racetrack. Bob?
That's right, Jeff Burton. He likes the Monster Mile here, but the question is, how good is your race car for qualifying here?
Probably better than me. I don't have a track record of qualifying very well here, but we worked pretty hard on it yesterday to try to be better at it, and we actually have qualified pretty decent in the last few races. So hopefully we can do that again. In race trim, I'm not real sure. We could move around a lot, and we found a groove that was real fast. But I typically do my best when I'm right on the bottom, and we weren't as good on the bottom yesterday. So a little nervous about that, but I don't know. We'll see. I think a lot of people up and down pit road are confused about race trim, and today is just so different than yesterday. It's so much cooler that I think everybody's going to be on kill, because there's some real speed out there right now.
Guys, everybody's still confused with this tire here. They're trying to figure it out around the Monster.
Bob, thanks a lot. We'll see what Jeff Burton can do. Scott Speed, this year, when he tries to qualify for a race, he makes it. He's tried 8, and he's made all 8.
He's all up on the wheel right there through 1 and 2. You can see, I always like it when the driver wears white gloves, because you can see how hard he works it. That thing jumps a little sideways right there, but he picks back up the throttle really quick and drives it, and that's a good turn 4.
Especially if you're Carl Edwards in Atlanta.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was ugly. Yeah, you could have been convicted on that alone. You know what I mean?
I just had to bring that up.
That's all right. Bring it up.
All right.
That first lap, though, was a great lap for Scott Speed. Puts him second quickest at a 23 flat. He's going to go for 2. I don't think he's going to be able to pick up from what he ran on that first lap.
You know, we've had 10 cars go, and 8 of them, their first lap was faster. And you know, I'm back to that theory. Does the crew chief not have a radio to tell some of these guys, just come on in, man? That was a great lap.
Especially if you're locked in.
Exactly.
Coming up, Michael McDowell, Landon Castle, and Reed Sorensen. Much more qualifying coming your way.
This is where names are engraved not just in metal, but in history. This is the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. This is why we drive.
Hey, ladies. Why don't you educate me on why you're not watching the Packers?
I got cable. We don't get the Packers in Miami.
Oh, boo-hoo. Ow! It's on! Only DirecTV lets you watch your favorite team every Sunday, no matter where you live. Looks like we're done here.
Oh, man. This is dry clean only.
Don't miss your last chance to get NFL Sunday ticket included at no extra charge.
Ah, collector car, you've got the life. Our owner picks perfect days for your drives. Me, he runs rain or shine day after day. What am I, a machine? Good thing he feeds me well with new stable ethanol treatment. It removes water and prevents corrosion caused by today's ethanol fuels. Even cleans my fuel system. I feel like I can run forever. Nothing's gonna dampen my enthusiasm. My tires? Maybe. But not my enthusiasm.
Losing weight clicked for me when I realized that Weight Watchers Online is for guys. All the guys, they think, do some crunches, that'll just make you thin right away. That just doesn't work. So with Weight Watchers Online, it teaches you about doing the right things when you're eating. There's something called a digital cooler. Grab some beer, maybe some chips, and you can stay on plan. I lost 57 pounds. I pick up a 55-pound weight, and I cannot believe that used to be right here.
Join for free today. Hurry, offer ends October 15th. Weight Watchers Online for men. Finally, losing weight clicks.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
Welcome back, everybody. Sprint Cup Series qualifying underway here at the Monster Mile of Dover. So far, it is the 37 car being driven by Josh Wise that leads the way. And here we see Reed Sorensen in the number 7 this weekend. He is looking to make his first Cup start since finishing 18th at Charlotte. That was back in last October, but he's been doing a whale of a job in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
And finally, a driver that comes in after he gets his first lap. I think he scared himself a little bit coming out of turn 4 there because that thing pushed up and got dead sideways. But that's all these guys need to do. They're already locked in. Some of these guys are. They just got to bust off a good solid lap and get in. Good lap for Reed.
You want to see how sideways he was? This was coming to take the white flag. He's going to get sideways here. I don't think he kissed the wall, but it actually left black marks.
Yeah, and he's sideways almost in the middle of the straightaway. That's how bad that was.
66 of Michael McDowell now out on the racetrack.
So we've got 2 go-or-go homers left, Michael McDowell, and in a couple of cars we'll see David Strimmy, who was the fastest of the go-or-go homers. In fact, David Strimmy was second quickest in that final practice last night.
David Strimmy was first quickest in the final practice last week at New Hampshire. I don't know what those guys are doing in that final practice, but they're fast.
I think they're still practicing qualifying
Yeah, I think they are too. I swear I thought they had their days mixed up last week.
Well, so far this chase has been all about one guy, and that is driver Tony Stewart. He is standing by with Bob Dillner. Bob?
But in Victory Lane last week, Tony Stewart told me this was his biggest hurdle here, the Monster Mile of Dover. So practice session yesterday, how have things gone for you and the 14 team so far?
We're struggling a little bit, but we had last night to look at some notes, and I know Darian's trying to do everything he can to figure it out, so we'll see what we got here in a minute.
Tony Stewart, a 2-time winner here, but guys, he hasn't won here since 2000, Wendy.
And Scott Speed is just finishing up with another interview. Scott, you've had a busy weekend so far, not exactly the way you want it, but you got to tell us because you got rear-ended earlier this week.
Oh yeah, we got in a little bit of a car accident this week, but I also got to say too, Amanda was a little upset with me this morning because I wasn't the first one to wish her happy birthday. So happy birthday, baby! Congratulations, you made it 30.
Oh goodness!
So yeah, we got in an accident on the freeway, and I figured for sure Amanda's in labor, right? She's stomach's cramping, all upset. Went to the hospital, they check her out. They're like, yeah, not even close. So still on schedule for Wednesday, I guess.
All right. Well, good luck on Wednesday, and good luck because your car looks good here this weekend, Johnny.
Well, that's an eventful week for Scott Speed.
That is an eventful week, but I got to go back to you on this one, John Roberts.
Yes, sir.
When Tony first started his interview, I thought he was doing an imitation of Jamie McMurray because he went, well, we're not,
He sounded a little bit like Jamie.
Just a little bit like his Jamie McMurray imitation. I'm sorry.
I got to give you that one, definitely. But right now, Tony Stewart is on the top of the heap, and if he could pull off that victory this weekend, boy, it'd be big in so many ways because he'd take the first 3 races of the chase, but also he would get over what he says told Bob was his biggest hurdle. Well, stay with us. Many more cars left to qualify. We are 14 in, and we have 44 total. Kevin Harvick is also knocking on the door of a championship this year. He is up there and would love to get a win as well. Tonight, the world's toughest truckers stampede into Kentucky, where the championship contenders will saddle up for a battle in the Bluegrass State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Kentucky tonight at 7:30 Eastern.
When it comes to saving energy, we're off to a good start. But now it's time to go to the next level. So let's do a little detective work. Pick up what we need, roll out, caulk, and install. And pretty soon we're seeing the fruits of our labor right there at our bottom line. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Owens Corning EcoTouch Attic Insulation is only $9.97 a roll.
In IndyCar racing, it's all about speed, and the action happens in the blink of an eye. So you need something that helps you keep up, like IndyCar Mobile from Verizon. It lets you keep pace with in-race audio, up to the second leaderboards, highlights, and even driver tweets. Download it now!
Get IndyCar Mobile, the app that can make you a millionaire. Enter the GoDaddy IndyCar Challenge for a chance to split the $5 million prize. Text Indy to 3406 or visit IndyCarWorldChampionships.com.
What part of the chicken is nugget? We're KFC. Our cooks don't make nuggets. They make popcorn chicken. Real, 100% off-the-bone premium breast meat. So how does it compare to pressed, formed nuggets?
It doesn't.
Every piece is unique. And every piece is a piece of the world's best chicken.
Our cooks don't make nuggets.
No, they don't, Aaron. No, they don't. Now you can try a large order of popcorn chicken for just $2.99. Today is a KFC day. Today tastes so good.
This is where young men can stake their claim, and battle-tested veterans can redeem a lifetime spent behind the wheel.
Makes history.
This is how we discovered it's possible for greatness to be annually renewed. It's where outsiders become heroes, and heroes become legends. This is an opportunity to not only seize history, but become a part of it.
Well, just a moment ago, Landon Castle made his way to the top of the speed chart in the number 51 car. Right now, David Stremme, another one of the go-or-go-home cars, is trying to make his way into this race.
And he's been fast. He was fast yesterday in both practice sessions. Looks like he's working on a top 5 run. This is not what Mike Skinner wants to see. David Stremme locked in 4th quickest, and that will send Mike Skinner to the house in that 60 car. Only one driver going home, and Stremme shuts her down.
Yeah, and you know, when you're a go-or-go homer, you just can't make any mistake. And that's the deal. You can't beat yourself. And basically, those guys ended up in a position to beat themselves.
Another guy with a very good record at this racetrack is Denny Hamlin. He is a chaser, and he's standing by with Bob.
Denny Hamlin has a couple top 5 finishes here at the Monster Mile, but Denny, this weekend, very important. I know you want to get back on track. So how are things going so far this weekend for you?
Well, truthfully, we've had a little bit of a struggle with our FedEx office Camry. Just not running the speed that we're looking for or accustomed to. The balance wasn't too bad, but just didn't have that speed. So worked on that. We felt like we've got some good information from our teammates, and see if we can apply it.
Good luck in qualifying.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Denny Hamlin actually admitted this week he's going to a sports psychologist to try to get him back in with the swing of things as far as the mind games here in the Cup Series.
And Bob, that's a really great point about how much this is a mental game. Everything has to come together. You know, when you work with guys 7 to 7, 7 days a week, and the pressure on a driver going 200 miles an hour sometimes with people all over you talking in your ear, and the pressure to perform for your owner and your sponsor, Larry, you can see how it get to a guy's head.
Well, and he said in his post-race interview at Loudon, we're not even thinking championship anymore. We're just trying to get back on track and get competitive in these last 8 races.
But what I like, meaning in the booth and in the media, has talked about how last year's loss devastated Denny so much. And I don't think he fully recovered from losing that championship. And I think as he's gone through the year, you got to give a guy credit for looking in the mirror and saying, hey, part of it might be me. I got to get my head back. I got to get focused. I got to get my confidence back. So, I applaud him for going. I should have gone.
Brian
Did we say
Vickers.
psychologist or psychiatrist?
It's I think, well, it's psychiatrist probably. Or
that would be for me. Psychiatrist would be for me. Let me just get that right.
They wrote volumes on you, Kyle. There have been textbooks written.
They're still studying me, John Roberts.
We study every weekend. We can't figure it out, but it's still fun to hang out with KP. And now David Reagan, who's had a lot of fun so far this season with some ups and also some downs as well. Of course, a big moment for him came with the win at Daytona. 2 poles this season, Texas and Indianapolis for David Reagan. And again, he's another guy who really doesn't know what the future holds.
Well, that's a great first lap for him, 22.86 for David Reagan. Now, remember, he made his Sprint Cup Series debut here 5 years ago in September of 06. Didn't have a great outing, finished 42nd, but that's where he made his first start in Sprint Cup.
So he makes his way to the top of the speed chart after 16 drivers of the 44 have taken time so far here. And still we see a lot of sun beating down on that white racetrack.
Slows down about a 10th on lap 2, but right now, after 16 drivers, he's quick enough to be at the top.
So again, a lot of rumors still coming out about where David Reagan is going to race next year, and none of them, of course, confirmed yet, but I'm sure we will all know when it actually becomes official as to what he's going to do. But what has been official was that UPS is going to limit their sponsorship in the Sprint Cup Series. Here's the Rocket Man, Mr. Friday, or if it's qualifying's on Saturday, he's Mr. Saturday as well. But lately, his qualifying in the last 3 races are trending in the right direction, Kyle.
Yeah, and look, his qualifying efforts have always trended in the right direction. How many poles? Larry may not know this. I don't even know how many poles he has here. I remember coming here one of the first times that Ryan came here and watch him run through 1 and 2, because you'd stand down there in the garage area, and I thought, my God, how can a man go through 1 and 2 that fast at a place like this? Because he was just phenomenal.
4 poles at this racetrack for Ryan Newman. It's not too shabby.
No, not too shabby at all. Not too shabby a first lap either.
Yeah, he was on a pole run till he got the middle of 3 and 4 on that first lap. He lost a little bit of ground there, and it was 1/100th slower than David Reagan's time. Ryan ran a 22.87 on lap 1. Looks like he's just not getting through the middle of 3 and 4 and off of 4 good.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that we saw when I was watching the Nationwide. Those guys get through 1 and 2 so good for whatever reason that 3, they try to make up a little bit more in 3, and you end up losing more than you make up.
Second for Ryan Newman. Of course, this order is set on practice speeds from just the other day. We have some fast guys coming up soon. Tony Stewart, Denny Hamlin, Jeff Burton, just to name a few.
This is more than a ticket. It's a wallet-sized definition of who you are and where you belong, providing both a place to sit and countless chances to stand up for what you believe in. It's a rite of passage, a declaration of independence, and an invitation to discover 43 new heroes and 100,000 new friends. This is more than a ticket because it says more about you than any piece of paper can. Reserve yours today. See you at Kansas Speedway.
School art supplies, black pants, and a family mobile plan.
7 years ago, I kissed Emily Costa. Ew!
Unlimited talk and text, only $45 a month. Add more lines, only $25 each. Plus other low prices every day on everything. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Is your computer running slowly? Does it take more than 3 seconds for your email to load? Are you frustrated with error messages, blue screens, computer freezes, and crashes? These are not only annoying, but can cause permanent damage to your computer. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, your computer and your privacy may be at risk, because these are usually the telltale signs of a virus, and it can only get worse until you act. Get a free diagnosis at mycleanpc.com.
My Clean PC is outstanding, and my computer is running faster than ever.
My Clean PC came through with flying colors when no one else could.
My Clean PC totally cleaned up my system and increased my speed.
MyCleanPC.com can remove spyware, viruses, and infected emails, all speeding up your PC's performance. It offers all-in-one protection, and it's been downloaded by millions of users. Even if you have antivirus software, your computer could still be infected. Find out instantly with a free comprehensive diagnosis at mycleanpc.com.
Welcome back to Dover, everyone, and NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying. The third race of the chase has us in the first state, that being Delaware. And also this chase is starting to heat up, starting to look like one of the more classic ones ever, because we got champions all over this place and winners from top to bottom of the chase. But here's one of the more underrated drivers out there. David Gilliland always does a great job behind the wheel of the race car. Qualified a season best 17th at Bristol, but he has been in all 28 races this season.
Well, we hear drivers say a lot here, my car is not down in the track, meaning it feels like it's not gripping the track, and I think that's possibly what David Gilliland is going to say about this qualifying run with this 34 car.
Trying to make his way up the chart a little bit, 10th right now.
He picks it up a little bit, but he'll stay 10th on that second lap.
Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Thanks, Johnny. David Reagan, top of the chart right now in this qualifying session. David, how much has the track changed? Because we know the weather has changed significantly since yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we ran a lot faster than we ran in our qualifying trim on Friday. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, our UPS Ford felt really good. We made a lot of big changes too. So, you know, it's a fast lap here. You know, wake up on Saturday, you don't get any warm-ups, you don't get anything. You just have to jump in and go make a couple of qualifying laps at probably one of the more faster racetracks we go to. So it was fun, and I see Jacqueline over here behind you. I know you guys practiced for the Better Half Dash a couple of times this week, so I'm going to make sure to keep you guys a little distance between the two of you. No trash talking.
Oh, of course not. Well, hopefully David's lap time will stick. Johnny, we have one heck of a race. Hey, that one's the Bando race I'm talking about.
Oh, I know that's going to be a good one, and you know who I'm pulling for in that one. I don't think you have to ask me there, but this number 31 car gave us such a great memory at this racetrack a few years back.
You make me laugh, man.
Well,
you make me
remember,
laugh.
I don't know if you remember this, but we're sitting there in victory lane. Jeff Burton just won a very emotional race. Been over 100 races since he'd won. We see Richard standing on top of the sprint hauler. He's emotional. Jeff wins the race, and we're sitting there. We're waiting to interview him. And danged if the skies did not open up. One of the biggest gully washers I think the city of Dover had ever seen. But Jeff Burton sat there till the bitter end, and we interviewed him after that race in that pouring rain because he wanted to talk about it so badly.
Well, we just interviewed him a minute ago, and he was a little puzzled about this racetrack, but he's going to be pretty happy, I think, with that lap, because right now he's the quickest at a 22.82.
So Jeff Burton on top of the chart right now, and what can you say about Tony Stewart? One of the turnaround stories of the season. Looked like he may go through the season winless, but that changed in a big way. And what a better time to pick to heat up than the chase time.
Now, one thing I want to mention, and we see it with a lot of the Chevrolet teams, they're running the pink numbers and the pink Chevy bow tie and the pink Impala on the nameplate. Of course, today's October the 1st, and this starts National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A lot of the teams, mainly the Chevrolets, are jumping on board with this.
Yeah, they are, and that's kudos to Chevrolet for getting behind this program. Tony's car looked really good on the first lap. Not a lot of speed in it. He was 5th or 6th right now, but he was right on the bottom in both corners, and we heard Jeff Burton say, that's where I want to get my car to work. But on the second lap, it was ugly.
Well, Sprint brings you an inside look at what is happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And what is happening? Well, it's been all about Tony Stewart so far in this chase. He is the man with 2 victories. Could he possibly make it 3? Well, he is your points leader right now, and that would be absolutely huge if he could get that done. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. And now for another fast guy, let's go down to Bob Dillner with Kevin Harvick.
That's right, and he's the closest guy to Tony Stewart in the standings. You said you had a good race car, but how about the power of pink here at Dover, Kevin?
Yeah, just excited to have sponsors such as Rheem to participate in a Breast Cancer Awareness Month and having the pink car this weekend and all the Chevys with pink numbers. But our Rheem Chevy has run pretty well in race trim. A little bit nervous about the qualifying side of it, but that's nothing different than normal.
I tell you what, Kevin Harvick always makes his way through the field, no matter where he qualifies, guys.
Well, Denny Hamlin, who comes here 12th in the points in that 11 car, great lap for Denny, 22.80. He's the fastest of our 21 drivers so far.
And his car looks really stable. Stable getting in the corner, stable when he picks up the gas. He's one of the first cars that's really run 2 solid laps where the car looks pretty comfortable.
And also, we have made mistakes in the past writing off some of these guys in this championship chase. Don't be too quick to write off Denny Hamlin for making his way up through the field, and don't be too quick to write off Jimmy Johnson.
But we just watched Tony Stewart qualify, and we just interviewed Kevin Harvick. Tony Stewart is leading Kevin Harvick by 7 points. Remember, though, he spotted Kevin Harvick 12 bonus points to start this chase.
Right now, Denny Hamlin's on top. We'll see who can knock him off next.
NASCAR on Speed is presented in high definition by Funai.
Dumbest stuff on wheels. Wednesday, 8 Eastern on Speed.
Like so many great pioneers before me, guided only by a dream, I'm embarking on a journey of epic proportion. I will travel from sea to shining sea, through amber waves of grain, and I won't stop until I've helped every driver in America save hundreds on car insurance. Well, I'm at the parking lot. That's a good start.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Oh, Rudy, you're so nice to me.
Well, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh, and you're funny too, that's cute.
Mike, there's nothing funny about it. I'm the new Aaron spokesperson now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Did you empty my bedpan? Hey.
I'm the man.
Yeah, Mr. Butler's here, come on.
Okay.
You stand right here behind me, the official Aaron spokesperson, handpicked by Mr. Ken Butler.
What a suck-up.
Action. Remember, when you want a guaranteed low price on brand name furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers,
you don't need credit. All you need is Aaron's.
And slow down. We're CenturyLink, a new kind of broadband company, committed to providing honest, personal service from real people. 5-year price lock guarantees, consistently fast speeds, and more ways to customize your technology.
Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying from Dover is brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. And one of the true veterans of the sport, Bobby Labonte, the number 47, is out on the racetrack right now. We've had 22 cars go out of the 44. Right now, Mike Skinner has been knocked out of the race. He is the only go-or-go-homer that will not make the show.
Good first lap for Bobby Labonte. 22.73 at top of the heap right now.
And all I know is when they created this system where basically qualifying orders from slowest to fastest, we're continuing to see a new pole sitter every time another driver goes out.
Yeah, and that's cool. You know, remember how we used to have one and they'd get up there and everybody tried to shoot him, knock him off, no matter because of the draw of the peel. This is pretty neat because it just builds to the end, obviously, and that was the point of it, to the fastest cars last.
You know, it's so funny, Larry, you made the point when we went to no testing that we're going to sit there someday and say, can you believe we actually used to test? And then we used to, you know, you look back and you see guys on pit road without helmets. Say, can you believe we ever used to not have guys with helmets? Now, pretty soon we're going to get used to this thing and not drawing that pill for qualifying anymore and going by speed. Someday we're going to say, can you believe we used to set qualifying by pills?
Everything that happens in our sport is that way. I think back to when we used to change engines once or twice a day at the racetrack. And now you can't even remember when we did that.
We used to go to Talladega when they'd open up the racetrack at 9 o'clock and close it for practice at 5, and you could practice as much as you wanted to all day long, and you'd change engines 2 or 3 times. They're already saying, can you believe Larry McReynolds and Kyle Petty were ever a part of this sport?
We're not as old as people think we are, though.
On that note, let's go to Bob Dillner with the Biff.
That's right, chatting with Greg Biffle. A good top 5 run last week, and this is a place that you love. 2 victories here, so is this the track that you get back into victory lane, Greg?
Well, I hope so. Our car was pretty good in the 2 practices we had yesterday. Struggled just a little bit, but, you know, track's got a lot more grip now, a lot faster speed, so curious to see how it sticks here in qualifying. But I think for the race, we got a pretty good car.
Guys, I think he's one of the chasers, the non-chasers that could actually steal the show here.
Absolutely, Bob. There's no question the Biff can win at any given time. Joey Logano in the number 20 right now has made his way up to 13th on the speed chart. Bobby Labonte leads the way in the 47 with Denny Hamlin in the 11th spot. Jeff Burton is 3rd right now, and here comes Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, I don't think Joey Logano is going to be very happy with that because I don't think that's even come close to hanging in the top 20.
Juan Pablo, one of the drivers who definitely wants to upset the chase party by going out and getting a win, and certainly a guy who's qualified to do that.
got off turn 2 pretty good, and I think another indication how good he got off turn 2 was he was in the rev limiter at the end of the back straight.
In the rev limiter, but you saw that thing slip just a little bit getting in turn 3. And you know, when these things, when they work their way up the racetrack in comparison to Tony's lap, you almost have to do what you used to call diamonding the racetrack. You'd go in, let the car go high, make a hard left, and try to make a long straightaway out of it. And that's what he's done in both these corners.
And he's definitely working on improving from that first lap by quite a bit.
A lot better through 3 and 4 on that lap, and a lot better through 1 and 2.
And he got off 4 really good, and that even put him up there a couple more spots. He goes to 6th quickest. He only picked up a 10th, but it was enough to pick up several spots.
Yeah, but that's Cup qualifying. You know what? We talk about it all the time up here. You can be on the good end of the 10th or a bad end of the 10th, and it'll put you 2nd or it'll put you 22nd.
Or ask Carl Edwards in Nationwide Series qualifying. He was on the bad side of a 1,000. Well, Juan Pablo's teammate Jamie McMurray will qualify in just a moment. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Clint Boyer as well. But next Saturday, the most dangerous race in the world, the legendary Bathurst 1000, is live on Speed. How do you say boogity, boogity, boogity in Australian?
He'll figure it out, I promise you.
We'll ask Ambrose. Australian V8 Supercars, Bathurst 1000, next Saturday.
Tonight, a truck stampede into Kentucky, where the next generation of superstars saddle up and trade some paint in the Bluegrass State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Kentucky, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
Did you know you should review your insurance every year or two? There are big differences between specialists and non-specialists when it comes to RV coverage. For example, the Good Sam Vehicle Insurance Plan offers $3,000 for personal belongings, optional full replacement cost coverage, and more. RV customers who switch save an average of $349 a year. Auto customers save an average of $442 a year. This means better coverage at a lower price. Call 1-866-SAVE-A-LOT. Speak to one of our insurance specialists.
You can see why millions of people trust Good Sam's Vehicle Insurance Plan.
Today, more than 6 million older Americans face the threat of hunger. In just 2 years, the number of people suffering has more than doubled. With your help, we can make this problem disappear. That's why I've teamed up with AARP and AARP Foundation in the Drive to End Hunger. Join us by visiting drivetoendhunger.org.
Come on, you boys call yourself fans?
The game wasn't even close.
All of them? Every single one?
But there's only one game on cable right now.
You jokers need to wake up. It's on. Only DirecTV gives you every minute of every game, every Sunday. A little enthusiasm, man. Nothing?
Don't miss your last chance to get NFL Sunday Ticket included at no extra charge.
Welcome back to Sprint Cup Series qualifying here at Dover International Speedway. The 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya and the 1 of Jamie McMurray spend a lot of time right next to each other. I think that tells you something about those cars coming out of Earnhardt Ganassi Racing because they're always so equal, it seems like.
That's a pretty good lap, though, for Jamie McMurray. Lap number 1's a 22.92. They fought more issues yesterday with this race car, mainly engine-related issues, but it was nothing actually about the engine. It was things like the coil wire came out one time. I think they had a carburetor issue all day long yesterday in practice, so I'm sure he's going to be pretty happy with that lap.
Not the kind of season Jamie was looking for this year around after what happened to him and Chip and company last year with winning all those huge races. You know, Daytona 500, Indy 400, Brickyard 400, and then also the race at Charlotte as well. And you know, almost race win for the number 88 at Charlotte earlier this season. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a chaser, and now he's on track taking his time in this qualifying session.
Has that win here back in the fall of 2001, and it almost looked like that car possibly bottomed out a little bit on him.
Yeah, it's like it went in and it scooted straight up the racetrack. I mean, I don't know what it did, but you see, you talked earlier about the car getting down in the racetrack. You look at this car, and it doesn't look like it squats in the racetrack when he goes back to the gas.
It's not going to be what Dale Jr. was looking for. 25th right now.
And did the same thing right there.
Jumped up.
But I think he definitely compensated for what happened on that first lap through 1 and 2, Kyle.
Yeah, he was ready for it that time. When you're not ready for it, it catches you off guard and you lose some time. When you're ready for it to do something stupid and you know it's going to do something, you ease out a little bit quicker, you get back to the gas. That's a good save right there for Dale Jr.
What a great recovery. He goes to 6th quickest with that second lap, picks up over 0.4 of a second.
That's one of the fastest, ugliest laps I've seen the whole time we've been here.
So let's look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. First of all, the not so good for Dale Earnhardt Jr. to start out this qualifying run.
You see, when he gets back in it, it just the front begins to rotate to the left. It's turning like he wants it to, but the rear just bounces out from under him, and he has to jump out of it, catch back up. And on that first lap, he was 26th at the time.
And we got Regan Smith in the 78 car. And, you know, you think about drivers that's not won so far this year that normally have won races, like Clint Boyer, like Dale Earnhardt Jr., like Jamie McMurray. Think about this team right here, a single car operation out of Denver, Colorado. They won the Southern 500, and I don't know if we say enough about this race team. This is their 6th year in the Sprint Cup Series. Owner Barney Visser, he started his Furniture Road Company back in Lakewood, Colorado in 1974. That's where the race shop is located. But you know what? They are stacking the deck. They have all the same equipment that the big operations have, plus they have the technical alliance and get their engines from Richard Childress Racing in the ECR engine shop.
Yeah, and let's go back to the first of the year. My man here was a qualifying demon the first of the year. I mean, he's second, he's third, he's first. I mean, and has continued that, don't get me wrong. But I think as his racing has gotten better, and I think he has become a better race car driver as this year has gone. Qualifying's got a little bit slower.
But I tell you, pretty good run for him, 4th quickest.
Bobby Labonte is on top of the speed chart as we speak right now, and he is with Wendy Venturini. Wendy?
Thank you, John. Yes, fastest so far, as you just mentioned. They're talking in the booth about one of the few cars that look stable out there. Yours did in the qualifying. Did it feel stable to you, Bobby?
No, I don't know what they're thinking. It was more stable today than it was yesterday. Track's got a lot of good grip in it right now. And, our Grilling.com Toyota Camry, these guys did a good job making their changes from yesterday to today. We felt like we were definitely gaining on it yesterday in qualifying trim. So, man, it's just a blast to go that fast here. It's a lot of fun, and especially. I don't know if the speeds have been faster. I think they have before, but the tires are a lot softer. So really cool. So hopefully it'll be a good run for us. A lot of good cars left to go, and but hopefully we can keep this Toyota Camry up front.
All right, thank you. Thanks for your patience. And Johnny, that's one thing that goes out the window is the comfort factor here.
Absolutely. They call it the Monster Mile for a reason. It lives up to that nickname every time we race here. Clint Boyer is another one of those drivers who is waiting to make the official announcement on his future next year, but his job right now is to get this number 33 qualified well and hopefully win a couple of races before all is said and done. He was the guy that just barely missed the chase this year. There's a story like that every year.
Every year. Somebody's got to be 13th. Sorry. That's just the way it goes. We can't skip it like they do when they build skyscrapers. You know what I'm saying? We have to have a 13th place guy, and it was Clint's year.
So still to qualify, Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin, David Rudiman, and the Biff. Stay with us, everybody.
NASCAR and the American farmer are working together to bring us American ethanol, the right choice for the future of our sport, our country, and our planet. It's a brand new race day.
NASCAR Race Day revs up in Dover. Jimmy Johnson joins us live. And chasers beware. We'll look at how the Monster Mile can crush title hopes. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 11 Eastern, live on Speed.
Goodyear, driven by those who use the world as their proving ground. And everything we've learned making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams from Money Mutual, your trusted source to over 60 lenders that can get you up to $1,000 in your checking account by tomorrow. These are tough times, and if you're facing an unexpected car repair bill, a medical emergency, or you just need extra cash to hold you over until payday, then you need to know about Money Mutual, an easy way to get short-term cash fast. So forget about bounced checks, overdraft charges, and late fees.
Need cash tomorrow? Call 1-800-585-CASH today.
12,000 pounds.
There's some sweet air.
11 feet tall.
Oh, no.
And 1,500 horsepower.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Giants of destruction.
Now watch this.
Beasts that fly.
He's in trouble and over he goes.
For legions of fans.
You want to get big air and make his crowd happy. Oh, no, he did.
They are the masters of disaster.
He stands it on the tail.
It's Monster Jam on Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying from Dover International Speedway. It is race 3 of the chase. And one of the best chasers so far this year has been Kevin Harvick. Of course, his 4 wins in 2011 tied him for most. He won at California, Martinsville, Charlotte, and the second Richmond race. There was a long break in between success for those guys. Matter of fact, during the summer months, Larry Mack, they were not where they wanted to be at all, and were sounding kind of worried about it.
Well, Kevin Harvick said one thing that may have hurt us was winning that many races early, because it got them to trying things, and then when they tried to come back to where they were, they couldn't get there. Now, Kevin, a while ago when we interviewed him, sounded a little concerned about his qualifying, but Bob, Kevin Harvick right now, 8th quickest.
Not too bad for Happy Harvick, but you know what? This guy, his mouth waters every time we come to Dover. Martin Truex Jr., I want to know, you got a shot at the pole today?
I think we do. And Napa Toyota's been good in qualifying trim here the last few times we've been here. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. Teammate up top right now, so that's encouraging. We'll just have to see. The track's a lot faster today than yesterday, so just have to hit my marks and hope the car will stick, and we'll see what happens.
After all, this is his home track, boys.
Bob, thanks a lot. Another guy who feels right at home here is Mark Martin. First start, Ronald Reagan was president.
I was getting ready to say, Mark Martin with his 800th start at Dover. So I want to congratulate him on that.
Back in 1982, he started 7th, finished 5th. Not too shabby for Mark Martin, but it is like his 9 or 1,000th start here.
Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it? I bet it feels like it to him, too. But you know what? He used to come up here with the Folgers car, the Viagra car, the Stroh's car. And this was a place that he just naturally adapted to. And it's funny because some drivers have tracks that they just fall into that rhythm. And this has always been a place for Mark.
Well, he fell into the rhythm with that second lap because he's 5th quickest at a 22.84.
Here's something you might not think is the case with Mark Martin, because he had a pretty good season last season. He actually has 2 more top 10 finishes this season than he did at this time last season. So that's not too bad of a year. Of course, the points aren't there, but still not too bad when it comes to consistent top 10 finishes.
Well, and you mentioned a while ago about Clint Boyer. As we look at David Ruderman start his qualifying lap in this 00 car, Clint Boyer soon to make an announcement about his future. Back to Mark Martin. I don't think he has a clue what he's going to be doing next year.
And Mark tells us that. He does not have a clue, and he says, when I know, you'll know. And, you know, there's just not a lot of seats out there.
And that's the point, and that's what I was getting ready to say. At this time, in most seasons, as we watch Ruderman here with a pretty good first lap there, and that'll make Truex feel a lot better after seeing that. But at this point in time in the season, most guys have an idea of where they were going to settle out. The problem is, with the Red Bull situation, with some of the sponsorship situation, there's cars that may be going away. Not saying they are, but may be totally going away. And if seats disappear, it's exactly like musical chairs. Somebody's going to be sent home.
Well, I think it hit home there. We had heard many rumors about Dietrich Mateschitz pulling out the Red Bull sponsorship and the team and having the doors shut down. But by law in North Carolina, you have to announce that there's going to be jobs lost. It was officially filed last week with the North Carolina Department of Employment that those 140 jobs are going to be lost, and that made it really hit home.
Well, it truly did, but you know that before that happened, there was a guaranteed seat that was going to be open right there at Red Bull Racing, because we knew Casey Kane was going to be leaving, headed to Hendrick Motorsports in 2012.
Well, the big Keselowski, driver number 2, Brad Keselowski, is absolutely on fire in this chase as we see Greg Biffle taking his lap. Let's go to Bob with number 2.
And you know what? He has scored more points in the last 8 races than any other driver in the Sprint Cup Series. So does the streak continue here? How good are you going to be?
Well, first we got to start with qualifying. I'm watching Biffle's lap out of the corner of my eye here. He looks really good. But, one piece at a time here. The Blue Deuce is running good. We're a top 10 car, so we'll just have to see if we can get a good solid lap at qualifying. That's where it all starts off, and then hopefully have a good solid day here tomorrow. That's what we need to do. Keep producing those solid runs like we have been.
Hey, JR, Brad Keselowski looking at the Biff's run. Maybe he's trying to go for your job someday.
I think he could do it very well because there's not much that young man can't do well. 11th to 3rd. Biffle moves up to 2nd position, and BK2 is coming up in just a moment.
Truckers know towing nearly 10,000 pounds up a steep grade ain't good for your tranny. And when the heat's on, failure ain't an option. This truck's got a 6-speed aluminum tranny and a big old dedicated fluid cooler. So when it's cooking on the outside, this truck won't break a sweat. Holy smoke. Available in the full-size Tundra. The truck that's changing it all.
In IndyCar racing, it's all about speed, and the action happens in the blink of an eye. So you need something that helps you keep up, like IndyCar Mobile from Verizon. It lets you keep pace with in-race audio, up to the second leaderboards, highlights, and even driver tweets. Download it now!
Get IndyCar Mobile, the app that can make you a millionaire. Enter the GoDaddy IndyCar Challenge for a chance to split the $5 million prize. Text Indy to 3406 or visit IndyCarWorldChampionships.com.
What part of the chicken is nugget? We're KFC. Our cooks don't make nuggets. They make popcorn chicken. Real 100% off-the-bone premium breast meat. So how does it compare to pressed formed nuggets?
It doesn't.
Every piece is unique. And every piece is a piece of the world's best chicken.
Our cooks don't make nuggets.
No, they don't, Aaron. No, they don't. Now you can try a large order of popcorn chicken for just $2.99. Today is a KFC day. Today tastes so good.
So you think you can hang with us? Then you'll have to endure some bumper-to-bumper traffic. Deal with some tough customers getting up in your grill. And get into a few scrapes. And to those who don't expect us to go all out on every lap, we've got one word for you. Tough.
Welcome back, everybody. Sprint Cup Series qualifying. Moving on here at Dover International Speedway. We have had 32 of our 44 cars take time. And, guys, now we're starting to get into some of the chasers. Kurt Busch being one of those. And right now he's looking like he has a lot of speed in that car.
Had a lot of speed through 1 and 2. We saw Biffle's car right on the bottom of the racetrack. His car looked as good. And just as Larry said, they had no intentions of running a second lap. But we see this 22 car. He just went out in the corner, let that thing roll free, chased it up the racetrack, and drove it. And that's driver right there that put that lap down.
Yeah, he just beat Bobby Labonte's lap by a 10th, puts him at the top at a 22.64 for Kurt Busch.
And Kurt has the honor of being the first ever Chase champion. After Matt Kenseth won the last Winston Cup in the old format, the Nextel Cup that first year went to driver number 97 at the time when he was with Roush Fenway, as he won that championship, what, Larry, by 6 points?
Yes, and it all came down to Homestead Miami Speedway. About halfway through that race when the wheel ran off.
6 points and just barely getting on pit road. That's what he won that championship by.
So as we see the number 22 of Kurt Busch coming around, he is now top of the speed chart, knocking Bobby Labonte off, who was there for a long time. Greg Biffle is 3rd, and Denny Hamlin is 4th with Jeff Burton behind him. And we still have 10 cars left to go. One of those cars being Casey Kane in another one of the Red Bull cars. Casey knows where he's going to be next year. He's going to be behind the wheel of the number 5 for Hendrick Motorsports, taking the seat from Mark Martin. But he still has a lot of work to do. He wants to prove that this is a good team.
Well, he's one of those drivers that's basically on a 2-year winless streak. He's going to get a chance to drive that 5 car even before next year. A lot of testing coming up in the near future with electronic fuel injection. He's going to drive the 5 car the Monday after the Charlotte race weekend at one of those tests.
That was a good lap. And, I'm going to tell you, Casey was good last week at New Hampshire. They were on a different pit strategy. They ended up having to pit one more time there at the end of the race as we saw guys running out. But a 74, which is right there with Bobby Labonte and Kurt Busch.
I don't understand why they stayed out that one time. There were only 4 cars on the lead lap.
Because you knew the way the race had gone to that point, or you felt that you were going to put yourself in a box, and they did.
Well, we're at a concrete racetrack, so let's go to Bob, who's standing by with Concrete Carl.
Absolutely. I want to know, Carl, are you going to live up to your nickname, Concrete Carl, here this weekend?
I hope so. We're pretty fast. Aflac Fusion's fast. Fast and All Mustang's really good. Just ready to go racing. I'm trying to remember what qualifying was like in this car. just went over some notes with Bob, and I'm hoping to lay down a fast lap. The guys are going so quick right now that I think we're going to have to go a little harder than I went in practice and just hope that it sticks.
I'll tell you what, guys, the sensation of speed standing here on pit road, impressive.
Bob, thanks a lot. Yeah, it certainly is down there. This is a very neat racetrack. Carl says he really likes to run here. And in the Nationwide Series earlier today, he finished second to Elliott Sadler, who has a pole for that one. And so Carl's already had a good day put together so far.
Yeah, but why do we call him Concrete Carl if Jimmy's won 3 of the last 5 races up here? Shouldn't it be Concrete Jimmy?
Probably should
I'm
be.
just asking.
Just doesn't sound
I'm just
as good as Concrete Carl.
I'm just saying if you compare the stats, Jimmy's better, so it should be Concrete.
We're going with a lot of past performance, which we know is not indicative of future success.
Past performance, what's he won?
I'd have to go and look through all the stats.
Okay, just
Kyle.
check. I'm not a stat man. You know that.
But I didn't name him Concrete
I'm not a
Carl.
stat man.
I didn't name him Concrete
Just
Carl.
thought I'd throw out a little stir the pot there, just saying.
Yeah, you never do that. Marcus Ambrose, currently 6th, one of the first-time winners this year and one of the great stories. This has been a great year for first-time winners, and we would really like to see this young man, A.J. Allmendinger in the 43, become another one of the first-time winners.
Do not rule this racetrack out as a place that he can go to victory lane.
Yeah.
He runs so good here at Dover.
Yeah, and he ran good the first race up here. When they came up here, they were really excited about being here, and I thought he had one of the strongest runs that they had all year long, all day long.
Last 2 races here, he has qualified second. Looks like he's living up to that. Good qualifying effort going on here for AJ.
Yeah, he really got off turn 2, and he's getting off both corners good. It's not going to quite get up there with Kurt Busch, but how about second quickest at a 22.723 for AJ?
And history can repeat itself again. Last 2 races, that's where he started in the second spot. Now, he did not have the finishes I'm sure he was looking for after that. Did have a top 10 in the last race of 2010, but last time we raced here, he started second and finished 37th. Engine blew up, and that was one of those heartbreaking moments for AJ. I definitely remember the look on his face when that engine gave way because he was so good. Let's go to Wendy Venturini, who's with the fastest guy right now.
Yeah, on top of the chart for Kurt Busch. So the sensation of speed that we've been talking about in this qualifying session, what exactly does it feel like from your seat?
You know you got to just man up and get up on the wheel. I had a good run out of turn 2, and I hit the rev chip going into 3 so hard I scared myself and yanked on the wheel left. When the car landed, I had to steer right and then go back left. A lot of action happens here for a lap at Dover. It's one of those fun meter tracks that pegs it.
All right, well, good luck to Kurt Busch. I can't even imagine what that feels like, Johnny.
Yep, up there on the fun meter, Wendy, and this is a Martin Truex Jr. kind of racetrack. It's his home track, and it was 159 races ago, but his only Sprint Cup Series win came here at Dover in June of '07. And boy, that was a neat victory lane. The parents were there. His girlfriend Sherry was there. It was just all good stuff for Martin Truex. And guess what?
He beats Kurt Busch on lap 1 by 3/1000ths of a second, and it happened right there, late exit of turn 4.
Yeah, when he got down in 3, he picked up the gas, and it drove straight up off the corner. You heard Kurt say he had to steer left, then right, then left again to get the thing up off the corner. But the 56 car there of Truex, great run.
Hammond called it fighting bees in the race car because your hands are going back and forth. You're fighting bees.
That's what he's doing right now, trying to get to the Baltimore airport.
Well, we wish him as good a luck as Martin Truex did. He is currently on top of the speed chart, and we still have Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch to qualify. Stay with us.
Next Saturday, the Bathurst 1000, live from Mount Panorama. 1,000 kilometers of combat, chaos, and carnage. The Australian V8 Supercars Bathurst 1000, live next Saturday at 7 Eastern, only on Speed.
School art supplies, black pants, and a family mobile plan.
7 years ago, I kissed Emily Costa. Ew!
Unlimited talk and text, only $45 a month. Add more lines, only $25 each. Plus other low prices every day on everything. Save money, live better. Walmart.
helping.
What a nice young man.
Pass it on.
My goodness.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
I better get out of here. Ooh.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Dover is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza. Visit hbpbracing.com to learn how to buy pizza and earn free racing gear. And in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at funaiamerica.com. And as five-time gets out on the racetrack here, we talked a lot earlier about how good he is on this racetrack and what a great bounce-back place it could be for Jimmy. And also the clouds are starting to move in heavily here.
Pretty good first lap, though, for him, 22.71. That puts him third quickest. Tried to get a little bit more on lap 2. He's going to stay third right now with 6 drivers to go in this qualifying session.
Jimmy Johnson's worst position after the first 2 chase races was 8th back in 2006. Right now he's in 10th, but that could change in a hurry. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Paul Menard will be the final car to go out during qualifying here, so that should mean you're the fastest. Can you beat a 64?
I don't know. The weather's a lot different today than it was yesterday, but we're going to give it our all. The car's been really good all weekend, and, at least going late, we know what we have to run, and we're going to give it a shot. We'll see.
All right, Paul Menard about to get strapped in behind the wheel of that number 27, Wendy.
Thank you, Bob. I'm with AJ Allmendinger, and you were just saying it feels really fast, especially on a day like this. Why is that for you?
It's just a lot of grip out there, and this track's fast as it is. It's a fun place. I love this place. Best by Ford's always been fast here. It's the lap times are so close. I don't know if I could have got any more out of it. It's not going to be quite good enough, but it'll be decent. And, it was fast and race trim, so we've been close here trying to get a win. So hopefully tomorrow we can be up there and at least have some fun with it.
All right, good luck to AJ as Jimmy Johnson has just pulled in behind him.
Wendy, he's currently 4th on the list. Jimmy Johnson 1 position better than him in 3rd. Martin Truex is fastest right now. And guys, recent history tells us it is very good to start up front here at Dover.
Yeah, it definitely is. But that 2 cars, that's not the run I'm sure he was looking for. And he was not good in 3 and 4 on either one of those laps. Appeared to be pretty decent through 1 and 2. Car was pretty stable, but getting into turn 3, he just couldn't pull the car down to the place he wanted it in the racetrack to hit his mark. You saw him be up the racetrack and have to wait on the car.
Now it's time for our Fast 5. The 5 fastest drivers from that first practice. We'll start with Kyle Busch here in the 18 car.
And when it comes to being fast, no one is faster on any given weekend, no matter what he's driving, than Kyle Busch. Last 3 races, his qualifying has been very good, but also he's had some bad breaks along the way when it comes to chasing.
I just think he's one of those drivers that's back there that even with 8 races to go, he needs to start clicking some top 5s off because, he's just had okay first 2 races, sitting 26 points out of the lead already.
Yeah, and that, when I look at the points, and I can't believe we're watching qualifying talking about points, but it's from 5th place back to 10th place is only 6-point separation. Those guys, somebody's got to break out of that pack and assert themselves, just as Larry just said. You can't just struggle along or have those runs. You got to put together some top 2 and 3s.
And it's always been the case that you absolutely have to get some help from another driver in terms of bad luck for you to move up in a big way. But probably this time around, in this chase with the point system, it's the time that you need to rely on somebody else's misfortune the most.
Well, Kyle slows down on his second lap, but that first one was good enough for 3rd quickest.
Tomorrow, NASCAR Race Day revs up Dover. Jimmy Johnson joins us live, and Chasers beware. We'll look at how the Monster Mile can crush title hopes. Don't miss NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, from Dover tomorrow at 11 Eastern, live on Speed.
All right, Jeff Gordon in his 24 car starts his qualifying run. He was 4th quickest in that practice yesterday that determined this qualifying order. Not a very good first lap for Big Daddy, though.
Remember when he used to own this place? When they had DuPont as a sponsor, it's like you came up here and I almost thought he wasn't going to run a second lap the way he sounded going down in turn 1. But, I mean, you used to come up here and he was the guy.
Right now, it doesn't look like the guy. Very uncharacteristic for Jeff Gordon.
No, I'm gonna, when you're running these lap times where he's at, this car is just not comfortable at all getting in the corner because he's afraid to even get on the gas. You could hear him roll out of it getting into turn 1 and getting into turn 3. He was way out early.
Well, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Right now, he's 31st, and we still have 3 drivers to go.
And he was one of the Fast Five, 4th fastest in the practice session. Let's now go to Bob Dillner, who's with 5-time.
That's right, and he's 4th quick right now for Jimmy Johnson. 2-part question. I want to know, is this the track that you start rebounding on? And number 2, the boys in the booth want to know, why don't they call you Concrete Jimmy, because you have all the success here?
I guess it just doesn't rhyme all that well. So we've had a lot of trouble finding me a nickname over the years. So once again, there's one that we can't have. But I know there's a lot of focus on a rebound. But you look at Chicago, man. And even the races prior to that, we were fast. We've been fast. We just haven't been finishing where we've been running, and we've got to correct that problem. Chicago was an issue with fuel. Not much we can do about that. Granted, we are working in some areas, especially on my side, what I can do to save fuel. And then last week, we would have been in the top 10, but a racing deal with the 18 and tore our car up and blah, blah, blah. So we're happy to be in Dover. We're excited about a strong qualifying effort and looking forward to a great race tomorrow.
Hey, JR, ain't nothing better than 5-time.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bob, that's a heck of a nickname. I'd like to be called 5-time rather than concrete or asphalt or anything like that.
You and about 42 other drivers down in there.
That's a great nickname.
Here's the problem. He can't get a nickname because it goes 3-time, 4-time, 5-time. You only call him that name for a year. You got to have a nickname for a couple of years for it to stick.
Well, all I know is right now, Concrete Carl is the fastest forward because he's 3rd quickest in this 99 car with 2 drivers left to go, including his teammate, Matt Kenseth.
And that answers your question, Kyle. That's why you call him Concrete Carl.
Why? Because he qualified 3rd?
Yeah.
They don't give trophies for 25th either.
I know they don't.
Don't tell me that.
They don't give trophies for 3rd place qualifying either.
He out-qualified 5-time by 2 spots.
Okay. All right. I'm going to Carl's house to look at his championship trophies.
Okay. Oh, man. Let's move on to Matt Kenseth before we get in any more trouble here. Matt's had some great success at this racetrack, a win back in 06 and also a win in that number 17 last time around.
Yeah, and this is, Matt started here in Bill Elliott's car. And this is one of those places that Matt's had solid runs. He was good at Chicago, ran out of fuel, had a solid run last week with not being good. So this is a place he can break out of that group.
But, Kyle, to your point also, it's not been good to him in the races in the chase. Because in 4 of the 7 Dover Chase races, he has finished 18th or worse. Some of it self-inflicted, like the end of pit wall trying to get there under green.
And that was ugly.
And, I bet Matt just loves it because we play that clip every time we talk about pit road here.
Yeah, but that clip epitomizes pit road. That's it. And that shows how complicated or how I guess hard it is to get down on pit road and how small this pit road really is.
17th for the 17.
One thing we do know now with 1 driver left to go, a chase driver will not start on the pole for this 400-lap race because Martin Truex Jr. right now is the quickest, and 1 driver left to go, Paul Menard in this 27 car.
Here comes Paul Menard, who showed some brilliance so far this year. Of course, the high point of that was that win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Very emotional for him and his family, but he'd like nothing more than to break this chase party up and get another win this year because the vast majority of these chase races are won by chasers. So when somebody comes in and crashes the party, it's really a neat thing.
Well, he's trying to crash Martin Truex Jr.'s party. I don't think it's going to happen on lap 1, but a great lap. 3rd quickest for Paul Menard.
Great lap.
Great job. So that means Martin Truex Jr. will have the pole position at what he calls his home track.
Well, don't give it to him yet, but okay. The tracker shows that probably Paul Menard's not going to run.
Well, I was just going by history.
And one thing this place shows, and this is Dover, okay, in a nutshell. You've got Toyota, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, top 4. It's not a manufacturer that dominates this place. It's not one of those. We've seen it in the past that some racetracks are manufacturers' tracks. Dover's not. It's a team and a driver track.
So now it is official. Martin Truex Jr. as Paul Menard finishes his qualifying effort. Martin Truex Jr. has the pole. It's his 6th Cup pole in his 218th start, and it certainly couldn't come at a better place.
My electric bill was breaking the bank. So to save some money, I trained this team of guinea pigs to row this tiny boat. They generate electricity, which lets me surf the web all day. Took me 6 months to train each one. 8 months to get the little chubby one to yell row. It was kind of strange. Such a simple word. Row.
There's an easier way to save. Get online. Go to geico.com. Get a quote. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Men, we're after professional criminals. Let's go hunt.
The #1 action event is now on Blu-ray with perfect high-def picture and perfect high-def sound. Hell of a mess.
This is how we do it.
Home Fast 5 Extended on Blu-ray.
And remember, as Aaron's spokesperson, you are the face of Aaron's, the leader in sales and lease ownership. The stores where everyone is pre-approved.
Got it, Ken.
What? I thought I was Aaron's spokesperson.
Yeah, right.
Watch and learn, Rudy.
That's my girl.
Action. And remember, when you want a guaranteed low price on name brand furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers,
you don't need credit. All you need is Aaron's. Don't worry, Daddy. One day you'll be the Aaron's spokesperson.
Welcome to an exclusive tour of the 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. We have big changes to discuss and new faces to meet. But first, we're going to take a look at some of the new cars hustling their way into the series.
Just traded some serious paint with that Mustang.
These are some of the new faces that I mentioned earlier. Of course, their faces aren't always this angry looking.
The 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. Something new around every turn.
NASCAR said, "Have at it, boys." And the drivers sure took that to heart. It's all about no limits in Texas. Hell, we've seen Gordon and Burton scrapping on the backstretch, and Kyle Busch lost his damn mind. These are my kind of guys. Get 2 front stretch tickets for only $99 to the AAA Texas 500 and see me, Trace Atkins, in the Axe Salute to the Military pre-race concert. Go to TexasMotorspeedway.com for tickets. NASCAR, it's in my blood.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Well, here's your front row for tomorrow's 400-miler at Dover for Martin Truex Jr. It's his 6th career pole. Coincidentally, his last one came at this racetrack, and for the 5th time this season, Kurt Busch will start on the front row. Let's go to Bob.
Martin Truex Jr. very happy. You told us you had a shot at the pole. You got that. I know it was a great lap for you, but what I want to know now is you got a shot at the win.
Not sure, to be honest with you. We worked through a lot of things yesterday in practice and felt like the car was pretty good in the first practice, and then we went to second practice and we fought some things. But I think we found a little bit of an issue with our car, and we'll have it dialed in. So we've had a really good Napa Toyota the last couple of times we've been here. And, Chad and all these guys just did an awesome job tuning over qualifying. So just got to thank them for all their hard work, and they've been doing a good job lately. So hopefully tomorrow we can put it all together. But just a great lap, and feels good to be back here at Dover.
And, of course, Johnny, his only Cup win came right here at the Monster Mile.
Yep, Bob, that was a while back, but definitely could see it again happen this time around as he will start in the first position. And, guys, history tells us our winner may come out of this group right here, but then there is potential for an upset along the way with how wild this year's been.
Well, what I feel, outside of Talladega, this could be the track where a non-chaser spoils the party because we only have 4 chase drivers qualified in the top 10.
We got 5 from 20th back, so your winner may come from there, too.
Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth on row number 9. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will start in the 21st position. McMurray, Landon Castle, Clint Boyer in the back. David Stremme and Travis Kvapil, as well as Brian Vickers. Tony Stewart will have a ways to go if he wants to get 3 in a row. And Jeff Gordon will start in the 34th position. Right now, let's go to Australian V8 Supercar Series on Phillip Island. Congratulations to Martin Truex Jr.